How to make a nutritious diet. Attention! For this video I want you 100% focus, so that you will get the most out of this video. Do not distract yourself while watching it. Welcome to Mind Mentor. Today we will speak about how you can achieve a diet that is nutritious. First, we will need to talk about food in general. For that, because there are three kinds of foods. The first one is non-processed food. The second one is processed food. And the last one is heavily processed foods. Now you may think to yourself, yes, there's many foods that is processed. And that is right. But not every processed food is the same. So the first one, non-processed food, is as an example a potato or carrot. Oftentimes those are vegetables that are not processed in any way, and you can even buy them raw. So non-processed food is simply put food that only has one ingredient in it. If you would look at the ingredient list of a bag of potatoes, there will just be potato, because logically, in a sack of potato, there are only potatoes, with no processing. Now, with processed foods are things like Greek yogurt, milk or cheese. Most of the time, those are foods in the dairy section that have to be processed because they don't just grow naturally. But those products do not contain any added or high sugar, so things like most cereals would fall out of this category and would get into the next category. Heavily processed foods. These are foods that have many chemicals in it, with names you and I don't even know the meaning of, and often have high sugar in it. You can test it yourself. Go to your fridge or some candy if you still have some at home. Look at the nutrition table and look under carbs at sugar, and you will see how much sugar there is in processed foods. And as a second test, look in the ingredients list and see all the names of the chemicals you and I don't know of, and Google what those are and what risk they bring with them. And I can guarantee you will be disgusted, like I was when I looked up on Google how many chemicals there are in food that I consumed every day back in the day, without even knowing that they can give you cancer. It is sickening. Heavily processed foods are things like chips, fast food restaurants, candies, and so on. Go and try what I told you with the food you eat every day and the chemicals that are in there. And if you want, leave me a comment about food with chemicals that are harmful that you even didn't know of. So how do we make a nutritious diet in this modern world? There is a pretty simple rule for that. Eat food with only one ingredient in it. Things like meat, fish, fruits, vegetables, porridge, rice, nuts, etc. You can even Google it if you are unsure about what is unprocessed and what does not have any high processed things in it or chemicals. You can even eat things that are not heavily processed, but are needed to be processed because they simply don't exist or grow in nature. Things like milk, cheese, most dairy products, even whey protein. And that should be your diet, and try to avoid or eat as little as possible of heavily processed foods. So things like fast food, chips, candy, etc. As a bonus tip, if you are currently eating much processed foods, don't just try to change it in one day. Take small steps to change it. Like just make your breakfast healthy consistently for a month. And your lunch, dinner and snacks can be like you always do. Then after a month, you do the same with dinner and stay consistent for a month. Then you make your lunch healthy too, and at the end you cut out or make healthy snacks. And all of that without falling back to eating only heavily processed foods. And if you need to, you can even do one more month to stay consistent in only drinking water. Maybe even starting with only drinking water. So, to conclude everything, look and find out if the food you eat every day is non-processed, processed or heavily processed food. Then do the self-experiment and look what chemicals are in the everyday food you eat and look up on Google how harmful they are. And then change your diet month for month, starting with your breakfast or with your drinks, and you will achieve your nutritious diet without having cravings for processed foods. And next week you will get the next step. I am Mind Mentor, and I'm content to bring and help you for this journey. I will upload one video a week on Saturday, so you have enough time to get used to every step you will take. Until then, make your family, God, or yourself proud.